Hi guys, today we're going to go ahead and cover section 3.5, solving systems of equations with three variables. So our learning target for today is that we will be able to solve systems of equations with three variables. Before we go ahead and start doing that though, we want to look at a system of two equations, which we've been taking care of over the past day. So here's the example. Krista and Arthur both need pens and blank CDs. The equation that represents Krista's purchases is y equals 27 minus 3x. The equation that represents Arthur's purchase is y equals 17 minus x. If x represents the price of the pens and y represents the price of the CDs, what are the prices of pens and CDs? So we have our two equations, y equals 27 minus 3x and y equals 17 minus x. Looking at this situation, I would look and I would see, well, I have y equals for both of them. So I'm going to use substitution to solve for x. Now I would solve this. I would add 3 to the other side. Since I got rid of my x's, I would also subtract 17. So on my left-hand side, now I have 2x. On my right-hand side, I have 10. So if I go ahead and divide, x is equal to 5. Now I'm going to go ahead and I need to solve for y. I can plug into either equation. I'm going to choose the bottom one that I wrote on the left. So it's 17 minus 5. So y is equal to 12. Okay. So what does this mean? Well, it tells me that x represents the price of the pens. So the pens are $5. And the CDs are $12. So this was our system of two equations. Now we're going to go ahead and look at an example for systems with three equations. At the 2004 Summer Olympics in Athens, Greece, the United States won 103 medals. They won 6 more gold medals than bronze and 10 more silver medals than bronze. Okay, it says write a system of three linear equations that could be used to determine how many of each type of medal the U.S. Olympians won. So it says you let G be gold, S be silver, and B be bronze. So I know that I won a total of 103. So I would say, well, the gold plus the silver plus the bronze has to equal 103. Now I'm going to go ahead and I see that I have two more statements. 6 more gold medals than bronze. Well, that means there is more gold. So gold is equal to, well, the bronze plus 6. And then I have another line in here. And it says 10 more silver medals than bronze. Once again, that means there's more silver. So silver is equal to the bronze plus 10. This is my system of three equations. So what we need to do is we need to try and make it so I have as few variables involved as possible. So one thing that I notice is I know that I can see gold is written in terms of bronze, so I can plug this in for G. I also see that silver is also written in terms of bronze, so I can plug this in for S. If I do that, I have my G is C plus 6, my silver, or S, is plus B plus 10, and then I have plus B equals 103. This one worked out really nicely for me because if I look at it, I now see that I have all the same variable. So I would combine my like terms. So I would have 3B plus 16 is equal to 103. And I can solve. I would subtract 16 to get 87. And then I would divide both sides by 3 to get that the bronze is equal to 29. Now that I have the bronze, I can use my equations here. I can use this green equation, okay, to figure out how many silver I have. It's the bronze plus 6. So we know there's 29 bronze plus 6, so that leaves us with 35 gold. Then I can figure out my silver using the purple equation. Silver is equal to the bronze plus 10, so 29 plus 10. That gives me 39. So there was 39 silver. So then I can just go ahead and write out my solution. For gold, I had 35. For silver, I had 39, and for bronze, I had 29. And that would be my solution to my system of 3 equations. Now let's go ahead and just look at a system of 3 equations. It's very similar. The way you would solve this is elimination. Except for now you have to do it more than once, like we did yesterday with 2 equations. So here are 3 hints. Elimination, elimination, elimination. So you need to do elimination 3 times. The way that I recommend you do it is you will take your first 2 rows and work on eliminating a variable. Then you'll take the second and third row and you'll work on eliminating another variable. So what I would do is I would take a look at this and see which variable overall will be the easiest to eliminate. I see that I have 2 of my x's are 2x, so it's really nice that they're the same. So I'm going to go ahead and eliminate x. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at rows 1 and 2. Okay, so I look at rows 1 and 2, and in order to get my x's to eliminate, I need to take the top row and multiply it by -2. So I would have -2x minus 4y minus 2z is equal to -20. And then I'm just going to go ahead and rewrite the second row. And I go ahead and I simplify. Well, my x's will cancel. -4y minus y gives me -5y. -2z plus 3z gives me z. And then -25 plus -5 gives me -25. So there is my elimination of rows 1 and 2. Now I'm going to go ahead and eliminate rows 2 and 3. And I'm going to eliminate rows 2 and 3. I'm going to get rid of x. Well, right away, if I look at it, the x's will cancel except for 1 is positive and 1's negative. So I'm going to just take the bottom row and multiply it by -1. So I have 2x minus y plus 3z equals -5. Then I would have -2x plus 3y plus 5z equals -27. And then I go ahead and add these two. My x's cancel. I'm left with 2y plus 8z is equal to -32. Now that I have done that, I have 2 equations left. So I have eliminated once with the blue equations and then a second time with the red equations. Now I need to go ahead and eliminate one more time with my 2 new equations. These 2 equations. So I'm going to set them up. I'm going to eliminate. I want to eliminate, let's go with z. Okay, so in order to eliminate z, I'm going to take this equation and multiply it by -8. So I would get 40y minus 8z is equal to, and then we have -8 times -25, which gives us 200. Now I go ahead and I'm just going to rewrite this other equation. So 2y plus 8z is equal to -32. And I will go ahead and add those two. When I do, I have 42y. Those are gone. The z's are gone. Equals 200 minus 32 gives me 168. Then I would go ahead and divide by 42 on both sides. So I get that y is equal to 4. So we're 1/3 of the way done. Now in order to solve for z, I just plug it into one of the equations I had from before. The ones I'm circling right now. You can plug it into either one of these. Doesn't matter which one. So I'm going to plug it into the one on the right. So I have 2. I now know that y is 4 plus 8z is equal to -32. This gives me 8 plus 8z is equal to -32. I would subtract 8 from both sides, so I get 8z is equal to -40. And then I would divide by 8, so I get z is equal to -5. lastly, I need to figure out what x is. And so what you need to do is just pick one of the very original equations. I am going to take the very top one from the system and plug in my z and my y. So it has x plus 2 times y plus z, so plus a -5, is equal to 10. So I have x plus 8 minus 5 is equal to 10. Well, 8 minus 5 is 3. And if I subtract 3 from both sides, I get x is equal to 7. So I have now went through and found x, y, and z. So I need to write my answer as an ordered triple. So what that would be x would be 7, y is 4, and z is -5. Once again, it's always in alphabetical. X, Y, Z. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and stop the video here for today. I would like for you to try B on your own, though. Go ahead and do B on your own, and then we will finish up tomorrow in class. Have a good night.